True or false? Is it true that you will still be liable for a collision if someone else is indicating to turn left in front of you and they go straight on and you have a smash? Well, for the answer, you'll have to watch this video because, as usual, it's not quite a yes-no question. Many people would love these questions to be yes-no, and I get so many emails that say, I don't want to pay for formal legal advice, it's just a yes-no question. There are a number of different cases that have gone to court on this very scenario, and I hope to explain two of them and a possible third in this video. The first example is the case of Woodsworth and Gillespie of 1978. In this case, the defendant vehicle was stationary at a junction waiting to enter a main road. The claimant in this case, so this is important, the person making the claim was riding a motorcycle along the main road. The defendant vehicle noticed that the indicator was flashing on the motorbike. Reacting to this, they began to turn into the main road. However, the claimant motorcycle carried straight on and a collision occurred. The court found that the motorcyclist had accidentally knocked on the indicator, wasn't aware that it was flashing, and therefore the judge criticised the vehicle driver for relying on the misleading indicator, even though it was misleading, but decided that the defendant driver had not satisfied herself that the motorcyclist was indeed turning left, because it wasn't. The judge also decided that the motorcyclist had not exercised proper duty of care, in that he was proceeding along the main road and giving a misleading signal. However, because of the weight of the reliance that the driver placed on the signal, the judge apportioned liability 2/3 against the driver and 1/3 against the motorcyclist. Now, the important factor to note here is that the indicator was accidentally turned on and the motorcyclist never planned to turn left at all. Contrasting this now with another case from 1985, which was the case of Winter and Cotton. The claimant vehicle this time was stationary at the junction with the main road. The defendant vehicle was driving slowly along the main road with the near side left indicator flashing. The claimant vehicle this time relying both on the signal and on the slow speed of the defendant's vehicle as the defendant was driving along this main road. The claimant vehicle then began to move out onto the main road. Once again, however, a collision occurred as the defendant vehicle continued to drive straight on and the vehicles collided. This time, the emphatic difference was that the judge found that the claimant vehicle was entitled to rely on the combination of the indicator and the slow speed of the defendant vehicle driving along the main road as a solid indication that that vehicle was indeed turning left, even though it didn't. Accordingly, the judge held that the defendant vehicle in this case was 100% liable for the collision, remembering that this was a combination of the slow speed of that defendant vehicle and the misleading indicator to turn left. And so now when you're out and about with your friends and they boldly proclaim that it doesn't matter if the other driver is indicating, if it's wrong and you crash into them and you take your chance on the roundabout or the main road, that you are 100% liable, that is not always the case. It does depend on the precise nature and the circumstances of the road, the position, and the speed of the vehicles, how long they were indicating for, and so on. So all the more reason you should have dash cam footage and store that dash cam footage just in case you need it later. So if you get into any situation like this, check out our app Proofify, which I'll link in the description below, where you can store your evidence in case you ever need it. Remembering, of course, that for standard civil claims, there is a 6-year limitation period, and for personal injury, a standard of 3-year limitation period, within which they can make a claim against you. So don't just rely on your dashcam storing the footage, because 5 years later, 5.5 years later, almost 6 years later, they might come to you with a claim. And if you've lost the dashcam footage, you won't be able to indicate who was right and who was wrong. So check out Proofify. I hope you found this video useful. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you next time.